amazing. I just saw that. Thank you. Whee! Little bugger. All right. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. I am going to run through my top 25 games learned in 2020. I learned a whole lot of games. And as you can see, I took a screenshot of my screen. And I'm going to go through my top 25 using my geek list that I created already. It's on BGG. So if you already saw it, thank you for seeing it and for thumbing the post right here. And if not, well, this is your opportunity to hear me talk about the games live and in color. 2020 was a great year for learning new games. I learned 500 new games. I played 732 unique titles, and I played 1,733 games in total. There was a comment in the chat a second ago. Is your goal to play 1,800 games this year? No, I don't think that's going to happen. There's a lot of opportunities during lockdown and COVID quarantine to play games with people who are also just scattered across the world or whatever. And just we could play games online. So I found out I was playing a lot of online games. And some games are just faster to play online because everything's all set up. Boom. And then everything, you don't have to worry about teardown and this and this and this. But I did learn a whole bunch of games with Michael here in the house, and that was 500 new games. So I took what I learned, and I could teach other people in online game groups and stuff. So I got to play a bunch of cool games, and just I love playing games. So if I can play things more than once, that's great. If I want to play things more than once, that's great. It's an opportunity to do that. So yeah. It's like I said, it's safe to say I enjoy games. It's safe to say that I enjoy games. So I had a successful Kickstarter this year, so that's something to do a shout out for. If you're in the market for a game calendar, 2021, I made an awesome game calendar, and then it helps you remember what day it is, because nobody remembers what day it is anymore. And yeah. So it's, I plan on doing a Kickstarter again for the calendar for 2022, hopefully a little bit earlier in the year, in case there are conventions later in the year. I can hopefully bring them to sell and stuff like that, and make people more aware before there's a whole bunch of calendar options out there. I find mine is the best, but I'm totally biased. I have a ton of pictures. It's not just one picture, one image on the page for the month of January. There's like 6 or 7 different pictures. So I do a whole collage through the whole calendar. It's very cool. So check that out if you're in the market for a calendar. All right, so coming in at number 25 is a game called Remember Our Trip. This is Sashi and Sashi game, and I think they always have a unique take on all of the games that they do. So they did games like Let's Make a Bus Route, and a recent one we played on the stream was In Front of the Elevators, which I like that, but I love Let's Make a Bus Route. There's actually some similarities with Remember Our Trip and Let's Make a Bus Route. Like, there's a drafting sort of situation with these discs, and the way that they come out and the way that they can be placed kind of work the same way you can place roads in Let's Make a Bus Route. There's slight connections between the two. You can see similarities, but they're very, very different games. This game, you are trying to get these discs in specific patterns so you can remember your trip and collect the landmark tokens and everything. So it's really, really a cool game, and I only played it once, so it's definitely a game I want to play again, and I only one play. That's not enough, but it struck me enough to make the top 25 list because it has everything I really love in a game. So moving right along to number 24 is Chronicles of Crime, 1,400. Now, I think they take the Chronicles of Crime series of, trying to solve the puzzles and the mysteries and the murders and the crimes that are happening, and they take all of what they've done in the series so far and really refine it to make it great for the 1400 game. I like that, there's no cell phones to call people. There's no computers to use. This is like your 1400s, right? So you have to use the dog to lead the way. But there's multiple ways to get to the end condition, and you might see something totally different than somebody else, but you still might arrive at the same conclusion, which I think is cool. Multiple ways to get there, I think, is what they needed all along. And so they did it really well here in the 1400 game. This is number 24. Yep. And we played it twice. We played it on the stream. So we played it during the Lucky Duck night. And so you can see some pictures here without really spoiling too much. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Yay! Let's see if this works. I don't know if it's gonna work. No. New follow, maybe? I forget what it is. I set something up. It didn't work. I tried. I'll get better at things in Twitch. Alright, and there's our video if you want to see us play through one scenario from Chronicles of Crime. Here we have number 23. It is Escape from the Asylum. So with Escape from the Asylum, it's another escape the room type game. Maybe like the exits or unlocks where you're puzzling to try and get to the final solution. This game is you're in an asylum and you are trying to escape. You don't want to be in this mental house. So they're holding you against your will, sort of thing. And there are 10 scenarios in the box. Each is its own unique person that you're following. So in the first game, we also played this on the stream. So if you're interested in seeing our our video, it's posted, and that's also on YouTube and everything. So you can find it there, and you can see if you like this one. But it's really, really unique. It has some interesting puzzles and things that we haven't seen before. So it was really clever, and it leaves you kind of on a cliffhanger because, well, if you can escape, you can escape. You might not be able to escape, but if you can, that's great. It sort of hints at what you might see in the next scenario, but you don't really know. So we kind of have an idea of what we might see, but we don't really know. And so I like that. It's not a continuous story. You could pick it up probably from the second one, but you wouldn't want to, I don't think. And actually, you might not. I don't remember. We might have leftover things. I don't really remember. But they are following different people. And that reminds me that we need to play. Because I want to play. I really liked it. We played it with the chat, so we got some help from the chat. So that was good. All right, here we go. Number 22 is Tang Garden, which I think someone corrected me. It's supposed to be more like Tongue Garden? Tongue Garden? I'm not good at speaking, so it looks like Tang, but it's apparently not pronounced that way. This I got to play a couple times. This was one that I learned with Michael, and then I immediately wanted to play with Shrey and Derek, so I taught them how to play. It's a really lovely game. Look at this. It's so beautiful. It's tile placement and a bit of set collection. So you'll be placing these tiles, much like Carcassonne, where you want to line up the sides, and if you can enclose a region, you'll get a better bonus. And you'll advance on these different tracks over here, and you'll try and collect different sets in the decoration portion of the game. So you're either going to be placing a tile or going to place a decoration. And so it's pretty simple and easy to understand. So I feel like anybody could really get into this one. So I really, really like it. It's a beautiful game. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Dang. Dang. Tang Garden. Shrey. Derek says, I've played it 3 times solo, and it's totally different and good. Tong Garden? Dang Garden. Oh my god. I mean, so it plays solo too, and Derek's been enjoying that. That's exciting. I should probably check it out solo and just see how it goes. I just love how, you know, you make this huge, beautiful garden at the end of the game, and it's just, you've created something. Let's see. Here we go. Next, moving on, is number 21. And it's sort of 10 plays. I'm kind of grouping them all together as the Boomerang series. Now, Boomerang Europe was my favorite of the 3 new titles of Boomerang Australia, Boomerang USA, and Boomerang Europe. But the Boomerang series in general is just so much fun. I really love this series of games. It's probably my favorite Scott Alms game. In general, it has a really nice drafting. I love drafting, so it definitely helps. But what's really great about this series is that they're all a little different. Each of these 3 games, the Boomerang Australia, Boomerang USA, and Boomerang Europe, they're all a little bit different, and they have like a different overarching kind of thing. So like in Boomerang Europe, you have your passport goals that you're trying to collect. Each of the regions is a little bit different. So there's a 2 region, there's also like a 7 region. So you're trying to finish these regions much like the original Boomerang. And the way that the attractions work is a little bit different. So each of them have a unique feeling, and it really works. And I just am impressed with it all the time. So we've featured several of these games on our stream. I really, really, really like this. This is one that I'm happy to play basically anytime. If somebody's like, let's play more, I'm like, yeah, let's play. It's great. It's awesome. And it's now available on Board Game Arena. So if you wanted to check out Boomerang Australia, you can. That is available to play digitally, and I'd highly recommend it. Boomer dang. Boomer dang. Number 20 is Tawantasuyu, the Inca Empire. And I've played it now 4 times. This is one that Michael's hasn't had to play. Rainer taught me, and Shay, and Derek, and then I think we ended up teaching Dan at one point, and then I got a copy of the game, like, let's play, because I want to take pretty pictures of this game. So I ended up playing it online, but mocking what I was seeing online in my photos. There's so much going on in this game here. There's so much, but it works really well. I love all of the way that the meeples are working. So if you have a meeple, you can choose to place it down on one of these little symbols here, as long as you have the card to do it. And then when you place it, you'll get to activate one of these regions that it's adjacent to. And if it's adjacent to another yellow, for example, if I had this yellow meeple, and if it's adjacent to another meeple, I get a bonus of one action. And then maybe it's adjacent to 2 yellows, so I get an additional, so I could activate all 3 of these actions. So you're trying to place it in a way to get all these different combos and bonuses that trigger off one another. And of course, there's other things that are going on. So you're trying to like move around this little like rondelle type situation at the top to get bonus actions, and you have to manage the temple track, and you have to manage like military and tapestries and other things that you're collecting in the game, buildings and all these things that you want to activate. I'm still talking about Tawantasuyu, the Inca Empire. So I actually don't have Tekenu on my list, but I do enjoy Tekenu a lot, and that is a dice drafting game with a lot going on. Both of them are fantastic. I think I like Tawantasuyu just a little bit more, but it's close. It's close. So Board and Dice, they have a lot of cool games coming out in 2021, so I'm excited to see everything that they have to offer for 2021. There's a lot of good things that it's going to happen. So keep an eye out for them if you like heavy Euros, that's for sure. They even have some not so heavy Euros. They have some abstracts and family weight games that they're working on as well. So they're all around awesome and something, a company to watch out for. There's Derek is talking. All right, my number 19 is a game called Far Away. This one had a pretty huge impact when we played, and Michael and I played the intro game, and then we're like, well, now that it's set up, let's just stream it. This was right when we were starting streaming, and so we didn't really know what to expect, and it ended up being like a pretty long stream because we're like, because we played the intro game and then we're like, let's just play the first mission. How hard could it be? Yeah, it was super challenging. It's a 2-player cooperative game where you are exploring the lands to try and collect resources, build buildings, complete the missions, and have tons and tons of encounters. So you don't want to really encounter the wildlife on this crazy planet that you landed on, but you probably will. And they had all these amazing acronyms when you learn the rules, and it's really fun. It's really fun. So you can read some of those. Pack preferred animal capacity kept. Well, there you go. Box beyond operational exploration. So that was really fun and definitely. And so somebody once said when they looked at this picture, it looks like a minion. I'm like, oh my god, I can't unsee it. It does look like a minion. That's our figure. That's our little pawns that we're using to explore. But yeah, it's a really interesting, abstract exploration type game, survival type game, which I really, really have been enjoying this past year. So it's no surprise that I really enjoyed this one as well. Michael dressed up for the occasion. All right, coming in at number 18 is The Transcontinental. I played it twice now. Once with 3 players, once with 4 players, and this was just on Kickstarter. I played it after the Kickstarter had actually closed. I wasn't sure if I would like this. I actually kind of complained to Shrey because I'm like, Shrey, it's a train game. I don't want to play. But it's not, I mean, it's a train game, but it's not an official pick up and deliver type game, but you are managing resources. You are placing your little token. You have 3 worker pawns that you're placing on this lineup, and they're going to take actions depending on where it's located. So if it's located right here, it's going to take actions from here and here. If it's located right here, it's going to take actions from here and here. And so depending on where you go, you're going to get different possible actions, and you're trying to beat people to locations. You're trying to build buildings before other people can join you on that. And so there's lots of competitive nature. That's why the 4-player game didn't really work for me. It was really like cutthroat. It's like super cutthroat. With 3 players, I think there's less of that, and there's more opportunities to kind of go to locations you want, because as the game progresses, you're going to get more and more locations opening up. This is towards the end of the game, this picture here, because there's a whole bunch of these blockers that go up to like here before the game starts, at the beginning of the game during setup. So as the game goes on, these will open up and more spaces will become available and possibly better actions you can take. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of cool thinking. The train will move out, activating things in order. Get to here, we have a little auction for these tiles that gets you points, and then the train will go backwards. So any action pawns that you saved that you didn't use, you'll get to try and place in the second phase of that round. And so it's really interesting. I haven't really seen any games like it, so it really works for me. And it's definitely one that I'm excited about and will want to play more of. A list wouldn't be the same without some Aeon's End. In this case, Aeon's End Outcast hits the list. It came out this year. It's a new campaign, four scenario campaign box that was released. And it's awesome. More Aeon's End, the better, right? Michael and I have only played the first part of the campaign. We played it twice. So we'll have to continue that and finish and see what happens. We actually got a little sneak peek because they asked us to do a quick read through of the story that was happening. So we actually got our names in the credited in the book. So that was kind of cool. We didn't play test any of the actual content, but we did read the story and help out with suggestions on that. So that's really cool. Hey, thanks Gamer Daddy for cheering 1 bit. That's awesome. Just love to see the rainbow pop up, you know what I mean? Let's see. So moving right on. Just play Aeon's End. It's just, just do it. Just do it. So good. You can see our playthrough there. This game, Cascadia, is number 16. And I've played it twice now. I got a pre-production, a prototype copy of the game because it was going to Kickstarter and they wanted a little bit of coverage. So I'm like, yeah, I love Calico, the Flat Out Games. Those guys, they did Calico and they partnered with AEG to get that amazing game out, and that came out this year, which I absolutely love. It made my list last year because I played it last year. So, for Cascadia's their new game, it should be released 2021 this year, so people get to play it later on. I really, really love this game. This is a great game. It's super easy. You're drafting tiles along with an animal tile. So a landscape tile and an animal tile as a pair. And then you put your landscape tiles somewhere in your little ecosystem and you put your animals somewhere in your ecosystem, provided that land type can hold that animal. And you're trying to create different patterns with the land. You're trying to create patterns with your animals so you can score lots of points. So there's multiple ways to score points. And you really have to think about how you're placing these things to score the most points. And it's awesome. It's easy and just fun. So I really, really liked Cascadia. That really worked for me. Oh, here's some pictures. Look at him. He's so cute. I love him. You gotta get your bears paired up. They like to be together. And if you want to see a playthrough, we got that video too. All right. Gonna caffeinate before I go on. All right. Number 15. I played 3 times a game called Alma Mater. I really, really, really like this game. I think it's really cool. This is a pretty deep Euro. Like I said, oh, look at that. Deep Euro. Yeah. It's a lot of critical thinking going on. It's worker placement, and spaces can get a bit tight. It's a worker placement game where you can go to a same space as somebody else, but you have to place 1 more meeple than the last person did. So you don't have many meeples to spare, so you just have to plan for that. And money is super tight. You will need to, in theory, help other people because you need their knowledge. If I'm playing against Michael and he's the blue player, I might need blue books in order to, recruit a professor that requires blue knowledge, blue book knowledge. So there's a lot of helping other people. I mean, they're helping by supplying their books, but you're paying them for their knowledge. So there's a lot of that. So in a 2-player game, we have an AI, and it works fairly well. There's a deck of cards that you flip over, and then the imaginary green player will take these different spaces and make it harder to go to them. So I think it works really well for 2 players. But it probably was designed for 3 and 4 players. I've played it with 4 players and 2 players. 4 players was a bit long. but it still worked. I really, really like it. I hate helping people. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Chad, welcome to the chat. I assume it worked well with 3 players because I liked it with 2, and 3 is probably the sweet spot for it if I were to guess. Here's some pretty pictures. This was probably one of my favorite pictures I took this year. I love the colors. I love that little meeple. It's so clearly a game. This was one of my favorite pictures that I took. And that's why it got a pretty big spot in my calendar because I really like that one. Is a full game board. University. Michael looking, what's the word? I'm so bad. Studious, maybe? I don't know. With his glasses. I do like Catan. I don't want to hear it. Professional? No. Studious? I don't know. Whatever. Academia. Hey, number 14. Here we go. This is a game I've been asking Michael to play often. He's probably sick of me asking. Because I've only played 3 games so far. Of My City, number 14. This is a game that's a legacy tile placement game. And you kind of play in chapters. So each chapter is 3 games. And so you open up a chapter, you play 3 games. And you see where you go. If you lose, then you'll probably get a little bonus for your board to help you do a little bit better in the next game. But if you win, you'll probably get like a rock, which makes it harder to place tiles in a future game. But you want to win to collect the little dots. The little dots, whoever has the most after the whole campaign will win the whole campaign. So you do want the dots. You do want to win in order to get some status points. But it has a really nice balancing act that you're doing. It's a multiplayer solitaire game where you flip over a card, everybody finds that piece and places it on their board. And so the different features on your board will hinder or help what you're doing. So you got to plan wisely for the pieces and hope you do well. Oh, Dr. Simon, been loving My City on chapter 6. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm only on chapter 2. But hopefully, Michael and I will, play all day one day and just kind of get through several chapters. And then I can experience it more. I'm very excited. Oh, you play over Zoom with out-of-state friends. That sounds exciting and fun. Yeah. I really, really like that game. So... it made my list. Oh, we're still on the Catan thing. Michael says, I won't play Catan without Cities and Nights, and Steph won't play Catan with Cities and Nights. It's kind of at an impasse there. I did not like Cities and Nights at all. That is true. I like just basic Catan or Game of Thrones Catan works for me. So we could play Game of Thrones Catan. We can compromise. Boo. No, you boo. Here's some pictures of My City. Those are the cards. These are the tiles. Excited about that. Hey, an oldie but a goodie. We have number 13 as Galaxy Trucker. It took me this long to play Galaxy Trucker. I know. Scott Ferrier had been asking to play several times throughout the years. He really likes it. And I was just always scared to play because of the long play time. I've just heard so many, complaints or comments on how long the game is, blah, 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 blah. Now you can play just one round and make your ship and hopefully you do well. So you could play a shortened version of it. It is a real-time tile placement game where all the tiles are face down. You flip one up and you can add it to your ship, but once it's down, it's down. So you're just trying to build your ship and start the timer on other people so they kind of have a worse ship. And then you're going to go through a number of challenges. You're going to reveal these cards one by one, and hopefully your ship can make it through to the end, the finish line, so you can get some points. And you might get some damage to your ship. Your ship might just totally blow up. So you got to watch out for that. There are tons and tons and tons of expansions. There are mods. There are different tiles you can mix and match. There are missions you can add. I mean, there's a ton of content for Galaxy Trucker. I haven't even scratched the surface with it, so there's definitely a lot more for me to explore with that game. Dustin's like, glad you loved it. Sorry, me having it as my #1 game of all time for many years wasn't enough to get you to play it. So it's Dustin's favorite game, who commented right on my blog post here. I mean, my geek list here. Hey, number 12. We have Beyond the Sun. This was exciting. This was a really cool game that showed up in 2020 from Rio Grande Games. And I've played it now 4 times. 4 times between some online plays with friends, and Michael and I played it on the stream and everything. It's fantastic. If you're a fan of tech trees, this is the best of the best. I mean, it's a game about getting your different levels. You are advancing in your knowledge. If you want to get to a level 3, you're gonna need the level 2s. You're gonna need 2 level 2s. You're tech treeing it, and you're gonna research. Mike's like, not the best tech tree game, but it's still fantastic. I mean, yeah, it does what it does well, and you play it, and it plays out pretty quickly too. So it's very simple. At the beginning, there's only like 4 different actions you can possibly take, but as you learn and grow in the game, you'll get more and more opportunities to expand and do better and cool things in the game. So I think what Ken said, it's like a 3.5x game. It's not a 4x game because it doesn't have the whatever, but it has most things. I mean, you are going to different planets, you're exploring, you are, building. I don't know. I'm 3.25x. Okay, sure. That's fine. I really liked this game, and there's advanced modes and everything, so you can play with an advanced mode too. I don't know, there's lots to explore with this one, so I definitely recommend checking it out and playing. Don't silence a host. You can only silence Michael. It's the silence Michael button. It's the silence Michael button. Number 11 I have here is In the Hall of the Mountain King. And this was from early 2020 that I played, and the second play was even at a con, Tennessee Game Days. So it's been a while since I played it, but it has a really cool flow to the game. So you're placing these polyomino tiles, you're digging out the tunnels for these trolls, and you're going to be activating your troll pyramid right here. And as soon as somebody places their final troll on top of this pyramid, that will trigger the end of the game. So as you go, you're going to be collecting different resources for the trolls, and building out, and you're trying to get these podiums in place. So there's a lot of different things you're working towards, and there's spells that you can cast and different abilities you can get. So this game had a lot going on, and I really, really liked it. So it's really cool. It still stands out even after all this time. Michael highlighted his message. Just saw It's a Wonderful Kingdom going to Kickstarter in April. It's a Wonderful Kingdom? Is that like It's a Wonderful World, but in a kingdom format? Is it Lucky Duck Games? I've never heard of It's a Wonderful Kingdom. A Goblin Pyramid Scheme. Yeah, that's right here. Oh, okay. He said yes. Okay, so that sounds good. I'll have to talk to Lucky Duck about that. It sounds really fun. Top 10. That's right. We're going to move into the top 10. Is that where I am? This is going fairly quickly. That's good. I wasn't sure 25 if it would take a long time, but moving right along. Number 10. Sorcerer City. I played it twice. Once one of those times was on the live stream. I really like this game. Real-time tile placement game. Yes. So it sounds like chaotic craziness, and it kind of is. But you have your stack of tiles, and when the timer goes, you start revealing these tiles and placing them however you want to create, like, do I have a picture of it? No, I don't have a picture of it. You create your little city of tiles. And, yeah, and then after the timer's up, you evaluate your city, and you'll score these different track bonuses. And that will allow you to, hopefully, buy more tiles. It's a tile deck building type game. So every round, you can have more tiles to keep adding to your city. Help defend your city. You'll get some, I don't even know. You get all these different things. So I know green is the victory points. So you get some points. And then there's going to be some monsters that show up and everything that you're going to have to defend and hopefully kill off. So all these different things you're thinking about. And it's just fun. It works really well for me. And I really like the real-time aspect of it. So I know that's not for everybody. I wasn't sure I would like it, but after playing it, I'm like, this is awesome. It's so good. Michael says, It's a Wonderful Kingdom is a standalone 2-player game in a low fantasy universe inspired by the mechanics of its predecessor, It's a Wonderful World. This new game offers more interactions, bluffing, and challenges. I will definitely be on the lookout in 2021 for that. Or if it's only going to Kickstarter in 2021, maybe 2022 title. I like that it's 2 players. So that will be really good. But that kind of diverts from what we're talking about. So I will get back to it. Number 9 is Flotilla. I've played it now 4 times. Man, Flotilla is so cool. It is so cool. I really, really love Flotilla. My main problem with the game is that it's 3 to 5 players, and so I cannot play a 2-player. Michael hasn't played it yet. He'll really, really dig it, but we need a 3rd player before we can do that. I played it online, and then I requested a review copy of it because I loved it so much. Flotilla is a weird sort of, I don't know, like city building almost, but with water and stuff. And you're using these cards kind of in a Concordia type way where you play them down and then one card will get all your cards back. So you're playing these cards, doing these different actions, and at some point in the game you can choose to go to the other side. Michael's being really loud. You could probably hear him. He's being really loud. But you can go to the other side. So there's the water side, which they call the sink side, or you can go to the sky side, which I think is called the sky side. I don't know. And so if you do that, all your cards flip over, and there's whole other actions on the other side of the cards. And once you go to the other side of these in the game, you can't go back. So you can stay in the sink side the whole game, or you can go to the other side. But once you go to the other side, the sky side, you can't go back. So manipulating everything to work in your favor is key in this game. And it works amazing. I really, really, really like it. There's resource collection, there's money management, there's hand management, there's cards, and there's just like so much to explore, so many strategies to try. It really, really works. And I'm very excited for it. Number 8 is Planet Unknown. And I feel like I've played it more than 8 times. So it looks like I've played it 8 times. It's my number 8. I played it 8 times. I'm a big advocate for this game. I've played it several times here. I've played it online with many people. It was a go-to for a while. And Adam's Apple Games asked me to play in a few games with him during the different conventions. So we live streamed a few of those games. I really, 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 really like this game. Let's see. So, yeah, this is... You're placing these polyomino tiles onto this planet and trying to cover up as much of the planet as possible. You can kind of see in the background there. You're going to be moving around your little rovers to collect the meteorites that have fallen and just make the planet look really nice and clean. And what I like most is this little wheel right here. So if it's your turn to pick the tile you want, you choose any tile, you rotate it towards you, and everybody else is assigned their own section, and they will take from their section at the same time where you take your tile. So everybody is doing something at every moment. So you also don't want to help them. So if you know that they're looking for water, for example, like water tiles, that maybe you don't want to put it that way, but that's kind of like overthinking. Basically, you're looking for what you want, and these tiles will boost in your tracks, and you're trying to manage your tracks to gain bonuses and different things. So it's really, really cool. Yeah. Oh, I played Wingspan long ago. I forget whenever that came out. That first year, I believe. But okay, so moving on, I am at Paleo, number 7. Paleo. Now, I wonder, I'm betting that this would be probably higher on Michael's list of games that he learned in the year. Maybe. But we've played it twice now. It's really a cool, like, cooperative survival game. It's different. It feels very different. And you're mixing it. Every game you play, you're mixing and matching a couple different decks, so you're gonna have a different game feeling. We just played the basic game so far in our 2 plays, and I don't want to say barely survived, but we had 3 out of 5 skulls at the end of the game, so there's room for improvement, if you will. If you get 5 skulls, then you lose. So it's not like we passed with flying colors, so we have a lot to learn, basically. You did not show up at the end. I am on number 7 of my top 25 games that I learned in 2020. And Paleo has made number 7 a cooperative survival game. It's a card game. So you're managing the cards that you have in your deck, and you can kind of tell what type of card it is based on the back of the card. So you know something bad might be coming up. But you're going to have to manage it well enough, and hope you don't die. just stay alive, stay alive. I really, really, really like this game. So I'm excited to play this more and play through. I think there's like 10 assigned in the rule missions that you can do, but you can kind of mix and match your own adventure after that. So I'm excited. So here's some pictures. These are my crew. These are the life that they've lost. This is the goal. You're trying to make this mammoth painting on the wall, and then you win. So, gotta do that. If you want to see a playthrough, you can check that out too. Number 6 is Hallertau from one of my very favorite, Uwe Rosenberg. He has designed a lot of my favorites. So my standard for him is much higher. I want it to be the best game ever. It wasn't the best, but I think it does a lot of unique and interesting things. It is a farming game. Shocking. He does a lot of farming games. And, I think there's an interesting worker placement mechanic in it where each space can hold 3 positions of workers. The first person to go there only takes 1 worker. The second person to go there will take 2 workers. The third person to go there will take 3 workers into that one space to take that one action. So that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is going into the next round, you only remove the topmost line of workers. So if 3 people went there the round before, then you only remove that top one, so only 1 person can go there in the next round, and then it will cost 3 workers. It's like a high demand spot for workers, and it's like, well, do I really want to spend that many workers to take that one action again? Maybe. So I really like how that worker placement mechanic is done. Everything else, people were complaining maybe a little bit about the randomness and chaoticness of the cards that are drawn, which I can understand. Here you'll see you're trying to move these red houses further this way to get points, and this big house will move. The big house will move and open up more workers for you to use in the next rounds. There's only 6 rounds in the game, so you're trying to manage your food and your farming crops and everything, and you're trying to manage your houses and all that stuff. So this is the worker board that I'm talking about. So if we went into the next round, that would be removed, that would be removed, that would be removed. And so it's really interesting how that all works. I really like that. So this is one it's fairly easy to understand. So it's kind of lighter in the sense that, it's kind of on the same line as Glass Road, though I might like Glass Road a little bit more. But both games are really good, so I'm excited to actually see the final production, as I've only played it online so far. And it's on pre-order from my awesome Secret Santa, as you can see. Thank you, Secret Santa! It's awesome. So excited. Coming in at number 5 is Pandemic Legacy, Season 1 and 2 and 0. I'm just adding them all together, but if I had to choose, I would say I probably like Season 1 the best. But it's tough. It's tough to say because they're all pretty good. I mean, we haven't finished Season 0, so that's also something to consider. We're about halfway through Season 0, and you never know. It might just change and be the best thing ever at the end. I don't really know what to expect. So we'll play that soon and finish that up. But right now, Season 1 is just a little bit above Season 2, but I really like Season 2 probably more than most people out there because there's a lot of negative reviews about Season 2. But I thought it was different as well as being really interesting. So if you're looking for the same type of experience, you're going to not really get Season 2. It's probably not, it's a little more harsh, but in the end, I really loved Season 2, the art in Season 2, the best out of all 3 games. So here's the Legacy Season 1. No spoilers. I posted a link to the intro game for Legacy Season 0 if you're interested in checking that out. And before I continue, I'm going to take a drink. Talking a lot. Usually Michael talks a lot. Okay, so number 4. It feels like forever ago, Michael, that we played this, for what it's worth. We played Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, Wrath of the Righteous. I say the base set, but it was really the full campaign. We played all 6 boxes in 39 plays. All in 2019 and 2020, Michael and I played Pathfinder. So much Pathfinder. We did Pathfinder and, nothing else, I feel like. We did so much Pathfinder. And I'm surprised that there was only one Pathfinder game in 2020 that I learned. So that means we played almost everything in 2019. But Wrath of the Righteous was the last one in the series that we got to play. I love it. I really love it. I don't even remember much about it, but I love all the Pathfinders. Mummy Mask still holds the top spot for me, so if you're going to play Pathfinder, I recommend playing Mummy's Mask. We started it with Charlotte, so we're going to have to figure out a time to play with Charlotte and continue our play online of some Mummy's Mask. So I'm a big fan, so definitely something I want to keep playing. More. That was my awesome character. Oh my god, she had a pet wolf. Oh my god, I love my wolf. God, it was so good. It was so good. So good. Alright, coming in at number 3. Lost Ruins of Arnak. After 3 plays. I had a prototype copy to begin with, and they had me send it on to somewhere else. And now I don't have a copy of the game. And I'm like, I need a copy of the game. I love this game so much. I'm a big fan of the theme. I think it's awesome. I love all the actions are small but significant. And so you only have 2 workers in the game, but you're doing a whole lot of different actions. So, you know, as a turn, you might spend some resources to study and go up this track, or you might send a guy out to explore a location, gather resources to you know, fight off a monster. And I don't know, there's a lot of awesome things going on. You can buy cards. It's kind of a deck builder. It's a small deck builder because the cards you use are multi-use, and when you buy a card, it goes to the bottom of your deck, and then the cards you use in the round after the end of the round are shuffled up, put at the bottom of your deck. So you're kind of going through your deck in a weird kind of way, but you don't have very many cards anyway, so whatever you buy in the first round, you will see in the second round. So there's a lot of good things happening in this game. It really wowed me. It's really, really great. So I would highly recommend it, especially if you're into the Indiana Jones theme at all. So I really was impressed with this one. Look at, got the hat and everything. Michael knows how to dress up for the stream. Definitely recommended. Check it out. Number 2 is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. And yeah, if you're a fan of if you're a fan of Gloomhaven, this will be a great set of scenarios to try. What I really, really like about this game is the fact that it introduces the mechanics of Gloomhaven so elegantly and so nicely. I have put off playing more Gloomhaven because I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm doing and this, but you know, it's with Jaws of the Lion, it really eases you in and gets you familiar with the mechanics and what you're going to be doing, and it's really well done. I really love the book of maps, especially because that's just easy setup, and you know, I'm a little bit worried about the Gloomhaven experience because we're gonna have to have the boards, you know, put out and everything. But Michael's done it. He's almost played through the whole campaign, so I'm not worried. He'll do it. So he's like, nah, it'll be great. I think it's really exciting, and I want to finish this up. We've played 17 games of it so far. Trying not to spoil or anything. I just posted some pictures. That's the character that I was. She's pretty kick-ass. Yeah, I'm excited. I really like that. It was a good year for the Gloomhaven. And then I think this year Frosthaven gets released, so we'll be looking for that as well. So there's gonna be. Michael says, if I hadn't played Gloomhaven before, it would have been your top 25 of 2021. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Horrible Gamer Jay says, while it is beefy. I think there's something great about laying the map out for Gloomhaven. Sure. I can understand that. I just wonder if Gloomhaven draws the line. If this had come out before Gloomhaven, would Gloomhaven be somehow even more successful? I don't know. I assume as people discover Gloomhaven and Target and all these other places, they will go to the next level if they already haven't, which I thought everybody has a copy of Gloomhaven at this point, but maybe I'm wrong. But every Gloomhaven Kickstarter is highly successful, so everybody wants more content from Cephalofair Games. Stray doesn't have a copy. There you go. I agree with Horrible Gamer. I think Horrible Gamer says, I think it would have been mostly because it would be much less intimidating. I 100% agree. The Gloomhaven box is very intimidating. You open it up and you're like, oh my god, I think it took me like hours to sort through it all and just, have little baggies of the monsters. And it's just like, it's so much stuff in that box. But yeah. You only have a copy of Gloomhaven if you like that kind of game, and I don't. Well, there you go. That's fine. I didn't think I would like it as much, but it's different, and the management of your hand and cards is very interesting. And I think even if you're not really into the dungeon crawl thing, it can still work for you. And I even recommend trying it if you have the opportunity. Jaws of the Lion, just seeing if you like it more than you anticipate. Because I didn't anticipate I would like it either. So you never know until you try something. And that's why I aim to play all the games, because I just want to make sure I don't miss out on anything. You've been eyeing the Jaws of the Lion, yeah. Because it's definitely more accessible. I mean, it totally is. And somehow Gloomhaven just exploded the game world, and probably for a good reason. But had it been Jaws of the Lion, it might have just exploded the whole world. It would have maybe caught everybody's eye. Who knows? Everybody's been playing it. It sold out almost immediately at Target when it first came out, and everybody was like, where can I get it? Where can I get it? And so that's really good. It's really good that people are wanting to play games. I love it. Oh, you've been playing the PC game, and that would have helped the learning process too. Yeah, that's for sure. If you're playing the PC game, I could see that really helping. Oh, it is definitely a better price point. But that's not to say Gloomhaven doesn't have a fantastic price point, because it was like $100 and you get all of that content. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's one of the best Kickstarters for the price ever, because you're getting, you get so much content in the box. But yeah, $50 for Jaws of the Lion, you get 25 scenarios or something, and it eases you into the system. It's really a well-packaged deal, and you get so much gameplay, and I have so many great things to say about this game. That's why it's so high on my list. It's basically a game with multiple expansions. Sure. All right, my number one, which probably many of you already know at this point, is Carnegie. Number one. After 11 plays. You can't silence me, man. All right, Michael, you come down and talk about it. I got silenced by Bryant. Spirium. Superium.
So, Steph's number one game is actually Super Yum. I don't even know if they can see it. They can see it. So, Super Yum is a fantastic game. DoorDash should call. Thanks for following. DoorDash should actually contact us so that we can design them a real game and not this piece of crap. No, actually,
oh my God,
we're doing Carnegie. Carnegie is fantastic. So, So all the time, Steph asks, "Hey, you want to play Carnegie with me and Derek and Shrey?" And I'm like, "You go ahead and play that." Now it's not because I don't want to play it, but because she wants to play it so many times.
We've already played it 11 times in like a month.
Yeah, I've played it twice, but I would agree it's fantastic. So anyway, there's your silencing. Even though she's laughing, you can hear it. I can put my hand over her mouth. So
you covered my face with
bye, everybody.
Super Yum.
With the cover your face with Super Yum.
No.
It's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Points redeemed.
Oh my god. Yeah, so not Super Yum. Nope. Sorry, Bryant. It was a good try though. My number one of the year that I learned is Carnegie. This is going to Kickstarter in a couple weeks. It's a game I want to play over and over and over and over and over. And every time I'm like with Shrey and Derek, I'm like, guys, let's play Carnegie. Let's play Carnegie. And Derek's like, yay. And Shrey's like, and then we're like, Shrey, let's play Carnegie. And he's like, okay. Then we play. And we keep playing because we can. And we want to. And I secretly think Shrey likes to play with us. He likes to play as much as we do. But many of you know that I already love Xavier Georges. He is the designer of Gigapolis, my number one game of all time. And so I'm always interested in checking out his games. I really enjoyed Troy, and I even have Carson City on the wall and everything like that. But this is by far like my second favorite. I don't think it's gonna pass Gigapolis. Gigapolis will always remain at the top, but it is really high on my list of overall games of ever. And it's so elegant. There's a lot of juicy decisions. You're picking an action. Everybody gets to everybody will take that action after you take that action, but you're managing meeples on the board to get rewards, your income for the round if you have meeples in an area. And so you're trying to do all these different things, but everything is so well woven into what you're doing that it makes sense. And it's really a deep game with so many awesome choices. And I can't express how much I love this game. And we played it on the stream. I tried to teach it. Wasn't my best. But, maybe we'll play it again as the Kickstarter goes live. And I could try teaching it one more time to redeem myself. But there's so many things to love about this game. It's a little bit of network building on the map. There's some different tabs that you're pulling to unlock more buildings and more possible income bonuses. There's buildings, there's apartment buildings that you're putting on your board for more actions. There's donations that you're making to the different spaces to score end game points. And this is your timeline. This is how the game will go. And when you select an action, you're going to activate a different space depending on what it's covering, and then everybody will take that action. And so there's so many possibilities that are going to happen. Oh, I just love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. I love it. Love it. Can I tell you that I love it? Because I love it. And that's it. It was really good. Really, really good. And it was a good year for games. So there were a lot of games that just barely missed my list. Because I think all these games that I mentioned are rated like between 8 and 9 or 9.5, depending on Carnegie. I haven't decided if it's a 9 or 9.5 for me. So there were like 30 games I rated an 8. So there were a whole bunch of games that may or may not have just barely made it on the list. It was a good year for games. So here's to 2021. I got a lot of cool things coming up. Hey, that didn't take very long to go through. I was thinking it was going to take a really long time to talk about 25 games, but I did it fast. Which is great, because I have more to talk about. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. I will be right back. The second part of the video.